I often get asked what are the best neighborhoods in all of Philadelphia, or what are the safest neighborhoods in Philly, or where should I live in Philly? Now, these are great questions and unfortunately very difficult to answer, really without knowing you and what you're looking for. However, in this video, I'm going to share with you my top 5 neighborhoods in Philly, so stay tuned. Hey everyone, this is Chris Fuhrman and this is my channel, Living in Center City, Philly. Welcome. And if you're a returning viewer, welcome back. Now, if this is your first time to the channel and you want to learn more about what it's like to live and enjoy life in Center City, Philly, make sure to tap that subscribe button and click that bell right next to it so that you're notified each and every time I put out a brand new video. And we actually get a lot of folks that are reaching out to us that are looking to relocate to the Center City, Philly area, and we love helping them on their journey. So if you're thinking about making a move to the area and have any questions about the market, particular condo buildings, any neighborhoods, really anything else, feel free to give us a call, shoot us a text, or send us an email, and we would love to help you out. We really do live and breathe Center City, Philly. All right, let's dive in to the best neighborhoods in all of Philadelphia. All right, since this channel is mainly focused on Center City, Philly, and a few other areas, my list of the best neighborhoods in Philly is primarily going to be focused in Center City. And really every area in Center City in particular is really awesome. So even though these are my top 5, there are so many others that are really great to call home. All right, so without further ado, here is my list of the best neighborhoods in all of Philadelphia. First up, we have Rittenhouse Square, and this might be obvious and you probably know about it. This is one of the most popular areas of the city, really known for its historic Rittenhouse Square Park, that 7-acre green space in the heart of Center City, Philly. Now, Rittenhouse Square's location is between Market Street and South Street, though you could argue it's maybe closer to Pine, between Broad Street and 21st Street. And Rittenhouse is so well known really because of the nightlife and the activity that's happening here. I mean, Rittenhouse is in the heart of Center City, Philly. So there's nightlife, there's upscale shops along Walnut Street that you've probably heard of, Apple, Lululemon, all of that is going on here, plus local independent boutiques. You got fine dining. It's also close to Broad Street and the art scene over there, like the Kimmel Center and things like that. So it's very close to all the culture, nightlife, and hustle and bustle. So if you're looking for that excitement, Rittenhouse Square is probably a good place for you. To live in the area, you'll want a budget of $250 to maybe $500K plus for a decent 1-bed. For a 2-bed condo, you'll want to start maybe $300 to $400, going up from there. And for a 3-bed plus townhome, you really want a healthy budget of north of $600K, really quickly escalating to the millions. So $600K for 3-bed, you're not going to get much here. So really it's going to be in the millions in the Rittenhouse Square area. Now, while we're talking about the Rittenhouse area, let's talk about my next favorite neighborhood, which is actually right next to Rittenhouse Square, and it's called Fitler Square. Fitler Square is really just west of Rittenhouse, and it's south of Logan Square, which are some of the busier areas of the city. The northern border here is Walnut Street, and the southern border is South Street. Really anything west of 21st Street to the Schuylkill River is going to be your east and west borders. Now, this area is one of the most coveted neighborhoods in all of Philadelphia, and really for good reason. One of the reasons residents love this area is for the urban tranquility. You're close to the hustle and bustle of Rittenhouse, but you're a little bit removed from the area. So you have a more residential residential city vibe here. So you can easily access that nightlife, but when you want to retreat back to your home and have a little bit of peace and quiet, you can get that. And lots of families love this area. Really, there are some killer public and private schools nearby, and you've got a ton of open green space here. Really the best in all of Center City, in my opinion. The Schuylkill River Trail Park and all that kind of entails. This really provides you ample space to hang out, to relax, to get a game of basketball going, pickleball, tennis, running on the trail, getting some vitamin D in the sun, enjoying the amazing views. Really, it goes on. I actually made a full video about it, and I'll link that below if you're curious to learn more about the trail. One of the other great benefits of this area is if you need to get to University City just over the South Street Bridge, you can get there very easily. So if you're attending school over there, or if you're teaching at one of the universities, Drexel, Penn, etc., or if you're in a medical community working at one of the hospitals or facilities over there, and there are a ton, this could be a great area to live, enjoy the amenities of Fitler, but be able to get to University City very easily. To give you an idea of pricing, the median home price in Fitler Square in 2022 was somewhere around $780,000, depending on the data that you look at. If you have a family, you're moving here, and you're looking for a 3+ bedroom townhome, you're going to be easily north of $1 million for your budget. 45% of the homes actually that sold in 2022 were north of $900,000. Now, there are some 3-bed homes in a more affordable range, but those are going to be very, very small homes and not pop up that often. Again, pricing is all over the map for a 3-bedroom here, but I would suggest a budget of somewhere around $700,000, but again, quickly escalating north of $1 million. And a budget for a 2-bedroom condo in the area is somewhere around $300,000 to $600,000, or certainly in the millions if you're looking for a newer condo like at One Riverside, which is an amazing condo, by the way. I love this neighborhood, and I'm often on the Schuylkill River Trail soaking up some sun and getting some exercise. So reach out to me and I'll take a tour of this area if you're curious to learn more and see the sights and understand more about Fitler Square. Now, real quick, before we dive into more neighborhoods, if you found this video helpful thus far, it would mean the world to me if you wouldn't mind clicking that like button below so that YouTube knows I'm putting out some helpful content. All right, next up on my best neighborhoods list, you've got Society Hill, which really has some of the best preserved 18th and 19th century architecture in all of America. It's pretty unique and pretty cool here. There's cobblestone streets, you've got charming row homes, you've got mansions that are gorgeous. They really all contribute to this unique charm and appeal of this particular area. Society Hill is located between 8th Street and the Delaware River, and between Walnut Street and Lombard to the south. It's east of Washington Square and south of Old City. And Society Hill is actually one of the oldest neighborhoods in Philadelphia, really where Philadelphia in many ways started to take shape. This neighborhood is great for those who love the historical aspect of the architecture here and want to be close to history and nightlife, but want a little bit more of a residential feel. You aren't too close to the attractions like, say, Rittenhouse Square. It's a little bit less than that. You're still close enough to get to them relatively easily, but you're gonna get a little bit of more residential feel in this area. You'll get the quintessential Philly living experience in Society Hill. Got the historic homes, the brick sidewalks, the cobblestone alleys, the tree-lined streets. And this area really does strike a great balance of things to do, mixed with the peace and quiet that, again, you don't necessarily get if you're in an area like Rittenhouse, where it's a bit more hustle and bustle. And therefore, this area is actually really great for families, and a ton of families call this area home. In Society Hill, you'll also be able to be close to the highway for convenience, or Penn's Landing for maybe added excitement, or to walk, run, or bike on the Delaware River Trail that they have. All right, let's talk about pricing in Society Hill. Well, the median home price here in 2022 was somewhere around $660,000 for all homes, townhomes and condos combined. And if you exclude condos, the median sale price in 2022 is somewhere around $1 million. Pricing, unfortunately, is all over the map here, really just like every area in the city. But here are some helpful guidelines. If you're looking for a 1-bed condo, you might want to be spending $250,000 to $500,000. For a 2-bed condo, you might be $400K and maybe up to like $800K. Of course, if you want ultra luxury condos, that's going to be $1 million plus, easily into the 2s and 3s, depending on the particular building. And a budget for a 3+ bedroom townhome is going to be maybe $700,000 to $2 million. I know, a big range, but to give you some more insight into pricing, 44% of the 3-bedroom homes that sold in 2022 sold for $1 million or greater approximately. So if your budget allows, Society Hill is really an amazing place to call home. All right, my next pick is Queen Village. This neighborhood is directly south of Society Hill, so it touches Society Hill, and its eastern border will still be the Delaware River, Penn's Landing, just like Society Hill that we talked about. Its western border will be 6th Street, and the southern border is Washington Ave. And its northern border is, again, going to be Lombard, which is where it connects to Society Hill. Now, technically, according to the strict definition of Center City and the strict borders, South Street is generally the southern border of Center City, so most of Queen Village is just south of that, so just outside of Center City. That being said, Queen Village is a stellar place to call home, and Niche.com ranks it the #2 best neighborhood in all of Philadelphia. Now, I picked Queen Village because it shares some similar amenities to Society Hill just to the north, the one we just talked about, like proximity to the highway for convenience, or Penn's Landing for exercise, outdoor enjoyment, all the activities that go on there, which there's a lot in Penn's Landing, and access to nightlife like South Street and other areas, but for a more affordable cost than Society Hill. The median price here in Queen Village in 2022 was somewhere around $560,000, and if you compare that to Society Hill of around $660,000, that's about a $100,000 difference. Queen Village is laid back with lots of local businesses, restaurants, shops. Many of the housing options here are going to be 2 or 3-story row homes, and a ton of families call this area home. So if you're looking for a bit more of an affordable area, but still want to be close to some of that nightlife on South Street, be close to Penn's Landing, Society Hill, Queen Village really could be a great place for you to call home. All right, next up, my 5th and final pick for the best neighborhood in all of Philadelphia is Chestnut Hill. Now, unlike prior neighborhoods, Chestnut Hill is not actually located in Center City, and really it's like barely in the city. It technically is in Philly. It's the northern edge of the city. Just outside of Chestnut Hill, you're no longer in Philly. So therefore, as you can imagine, you're really not getting a traditional city living vibe here. Rather, it's like living in an affluent suburb with lots of green space, lots of trees, backyards, things like that. Many of the homes here, of course, can have a lot more land than you get being closer to downtown. You'll still be 30 to 45 minutes from the city, so if you want grass, backyard, you want to be close to downtown but not too far, then Chestnut Hill really could be a great area for you to call home. Chestnut Hill made my list because it's gorgeous. It's really very highly sought after area, and some people actually want a home in both in Chestnut Hill and downtown Center City. But Chestnut Hill is definitely a great option for you. There's going to be a number of very good private schools in the area as well, which is very popular here. So if you want a more suburban feel, but want to be, not too far from Philly, but also close to New York City, because Chestnut Hill is north of Philly, so you're going to be closer to New York City. So if you're working in both places, or if you got to be in both places, then Chestnut Hill could actually be a great option for you. Chestnut Hill real estate is varied. You're going to find anything from a very small 1,000 square foot home or condo to mansions over 10,000 square foot. Pricing here is also naturally going to be all over the map. So let's say $400K for townhome, all the way up to $4+ million for a larger estate. The median sale price here in 2022 was somewhere around $680,000. Now, in a minute, we're going to talk about crime and safety, and also I'll be doing a lightning round on my top neighborhood picks for families, young professionals, empty nesters, dog lovers. So stay tuned for that. Now, as I mentioned earlier, there are a ton of great neighborhoods in the city that we haven't talked about that are not on my list for the top 5, but they're really great areas to live, like Fairmount, Old City, Graduate Hospital, Northern Liberties, Washington Square West, etc., etc. The list really does go on. Again, these are just my top 5, but there's many, many more awesome areas, and actually have full-length neighborhood tours on many of these areas, which I'll link in the description below. So after this, feel free to go down there to the description and check them out, whatever areas you're interested in. And I'll also be putting more neighborhood tours together in the future, so make sure to subscribe if you haven't. Click that bell right next to it so that you don't miss my next neighborhood tour. Also, as much as I love making these videos, I love helping people relocate to the Philly area even more. So if you're remotely considering moving here in the next few months or even the next few years, it's never too early to start getting actionable information. So text, email, or call me so I can keep you up to date on what's going on in Center City, Philly. All right, let's start the lightning round. My top pick for families is going to be Fitler Square if you have the budget, or Logan Square or Queen Village if not. All right, my top pick for young professionals is going to be Rittenhouse Square or Market East or Midtown Village area. And my top pick for empty nesters is going to be Society Hill if you love history, or Rittenhouse Square if you really want a ton of nightlife. And my top pick for dog lovers is going to be Fitler Square to be near the dog parks over there, and the Schuylkill River Trail, which is really an amazing amenity that we talked about earlier, or Washington Square West potentially to be near Seeger Dog Park. Now, Washington Square West is actually a great area for families, especially to be near that dog park, and there's a kids park there, and which is right by Whole Foods and Acme grocery store. So if you got grown kids, you're probably gonna be at the grocery store a lot. And my top pick for a fully gated and guarded community in the city is Naval Square. Naval Square is a unique, one-of-a-kind compound that provides you with a feeling of like a suburb while living in the heart of a city. It's very unique. So send me an email if you want to learn more about this area. I'll be making a video highlighting the complex of over 600 homes within the next few months, and I'll email you that video once it's complete. And I'll also let you know about any off-market opportunities here. Now, you may be wondering about crime and safety in these neighborhoods. And although downtown areas of major cities usually get a bad rap, usually because of only a handful of highly publicized events, according to a research study by Brookings Institute, they actually conclude that local data on property and violent crimes show that in New York, Philadelphia, and Chicago downtowns are some of the safest places to be. So sometimes perceptions may be much worse than reality. Of course, you'll have to do your own research and come to your own conclusions about crime and safety about a particular neighborhood, and I'll link some resources down in the description below so you can check out some stuff. But my wife and kids, we really all feel safe walking anywhere in Center City. Naturally, you have to be aware of your surroundings and use common sense, of course, and not be in certain areas, certain times of the day, very late, things like that. Use discretion, common sense, of course. Also noteworthy while we're in the topic of safety, usually violent crime, like shootings, for example, can be avoided. If you look at homicide motives from 2022 in Philly, which was compiled on the screen, you can see by the Pew Trust, approximately 36% were motivated by an argument, 17% was retaliation, 15% was drug-related, and 9% was domestic. So if you add all that together, you've got 77% of the homicides in 2022. So as long as you aren't a violent person, you'll probably be fine. Meaning, don't get into arguments, don't be in a gang, don't do drugs. It's really not that hard to avoid most, if not all, violent crime in major cities. Now, most of this is common sense, but really sometimes the media can paint major cities as a war zone, and really that couldn't be further from the truth. Now, I totally get it. I'm just some guy on YouTube. So if you're not convinced, come down to the area. I'll give you a tour or a tour on your own and see for yourself. But again, reach out and I'll show you around. And if you want to see my full-length neighborhood tours, just click this playlist right here. I'll also link the tours in the description below, and if you're looking for just one particular one, just check it out. Also, let me know in the comments below which neighborhood you're interested in learning more about.